how are you? It's me, LB. Welcome to your November monthly reading for 2025. This month, we are going to use two decks for you. We are going to use the Shaman's Dream Oracle. See how it looks a bit like a compass or the inside of a watch? It reminds me a bit of Alice Through the Looking Glass. So there's something about a shift in timelines, how you're using your time, how you're expending your energy that feels very different this month. We're also going to use the Mystical Dream Tarot, which I originally had pulled out days ago for Scorpio, but the energy felt much too heavy. And so I decided to go with lighter decks for them. But when I picked it for you today, it didn't feel like nearly as heavy as it did the other day. So I also want to say, Gemini, one, you have an ability to carry a weight of magic, an intensity of experience, a certain power, responsibility that like other people can't carry. You certainly don't look like what you've been through, but I feel like it's very surprising for people. And I think they're getting a revelation on this month, that actually what you do, how you do it, what you've been through, what you've been able to survive and overcome, it's not that easy. Just because you make it look good, just because you make it look easy, doesn't mean that it is. That weight is heavy, but you just carry it so goddamn well. And so I think there is a little bit of comeuppance for a few people. I'm getting the impression, and I'm hearing specifically, they truly can't handle the full portion that you have because it would crush them, but they're certainly going to get a taste. So a few people who maybe were not very kind to you when you were going through some difficult seasons, there may be some people that were very critical of maybe how you handled X, Y, and Z, maybe getting just a tiny little taste, a little drop of comeuppance, a little drop of their own medicine this month, and realizing, whoa, I'm just experiencing like a little bit of this and I'm drowning. Like I'm being crushed underneath the weight of it. Actually, thinking about it, I don't even know how Gemini was able to survive that or overcome that or make it through the end of that process. So I'm hearing eat their words. So a few people might be tucking their tail and eating their words. And I do get the impression that a few of those people might be starting to leave you alone. If you've had a few antagonists in the bunch, I have a feeling that after this month, they may start leaving you alone because some people are smart enough to actually start connecting the dots of, oh, I was talking smack about this and then it happened to me and it wasn't very nice. Actually, I'm just going to shut my big old mouth and I'm just going to carry on over here. So I think a few people actually are learning their lessons, but certainly like not everyone. But it's good to see a few people getting a little bit of a bit of perspective, right, on maybe what you've been through. But your ability to carry a responsibility and an intensity of magic is also like really quite impressive. You're able to hold things that other people just simply are not. Yes. I also feel like there's something about, it's like there's a graduation, a Four of Wands energy that I'm feeling here about you being promoted or you graduating to like a higher spiritual rank. You feel very seasoned to me at this point. You feel very well developed. You don't feel reactive. You're very contemplative. You understand the right use of power is the impression that I'm getting. And so there's something that a common saying is with new levels come new devils. But I think for you, Gemini, as you cross the threshold of this spiritual graduation, it's the feeling of you being able to sit at like the big kids table, at the adult table, spiritually speaking. And I'm hearing a role amongst the ancestors, a seat amongst the ancestors. So you are being seen as an adult, a mature and responsible practitioner by your spirits, by your team, by your lineage. And because of that, it feels like you are kind of in spiritual rooms that are also with, again, mature and advanced spirits and energies. And so I'm hearing hogwash. I feel like you're going to be dealing with a lot less bullshit and like hogwash and like drama interfering spirits. Like, I just feel like there's a lot less spiritual drama that is occurring for you. And because you've kind of graduated, I also feel like it's not like you'll never be tested or there'll never be trials or tribulations, but it feels like by and large that you actually have like overcome like a lot of what you had to, and your spiritual life is getting a lot calmer, right? It's similar to, as you know, people, once you get into your 30s and your 40s and your 50s, like the things that you prioritize and were willing to like be up in arms about when you were, 18, 24, it's just not the same, right? You're like, who's got the time and energy for that? So it just feels like your spiritual life is starting to kind of calm down a little bit. But I feel like I'm being shown an image of like a cabin, and you seem to be inside of this cabin, and there's a fire brewing, and I see like a kettle on the stove, and it's starting to sing, like the tea is done, and I see someone banging, almost like Maddie in Euphoria, pop, 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 on the outside of the door. And when I look outside of the cabin, it seems to be raining. And so I do feel like, again, a couple people might be getting a little bit of a taste of their own medicine, a little bit of a comeuppance, and you might be hearing or feeling or sensing that. But the guidance is absolutely to stay inside your cabin, like stay inside like the boundary you have created for yourself. Do not, it's funny. That's why I like to sit in front of this window. A truck just drove by that said climate mechanics, that some people, they may be going through like quite a stormy November, and that is definitely by design. Sometimes people go through hard times because we all do, and they do need assistance. But it feels like the people that might be knocking at your door this month for assistance or for shelter or for protection or provision or what you could do for them. I'm hearing fat chance, and I'm also hearing that might be nice, or that must be nice, and I'm also hearing that's rich. And so there's something from the spirit about the hypocrisy of people wanting to criticize what you did, how you navigated difficult times in your own life, and then wanting you to rescue them and like come out into the cold, come out into the storm in order to help rescue them because they don't know how to swim. And there's something with spirit that's just like, don't you do it. Don't you do it. Like, if you want someone to help, if you're feeling charitable and generous this month, Gemini, we got a few people we could help. Like, we got a few donation bins you could lend your elbow grease or, a couple cans of beans to, but like not these people. Absolutely not. But it feels like there might be someone specific, Gemini, who did you maybe quite dirty, or someone who I feel like I want to say their hands are not clean, and they seem to be the one most arduously kind of banging at your door. And it's actually very entitled energy. Someone who maybe has like a long history of mistreating you, feels deeply entitled. That's so funny. Interesting. What is it? Is it the Third Amendment? Is it that right? Is it the Third Amendment where you legally do not have to, and you cannot be forced to house and shelter like the military? There's something like that, like someone has maybe like been at war with you, so to speak, maybe just spiritually, and they feel like a sense of entitlement, like you're a good person, and because you're a good person, regardless of what I did, like you need to let me in because I need help. And I just saw a paramedic drive by. So someone might literally, again, few people, climate mechanics, few people might be getting like a little bit of a medicine, like a little bit of like a comeuppance, and they're learning their lesson and they're learning to back off of you and they're moving forward. But there might be like one real bad apple that feels like they are entitled to your protection, to your shelter, to your help, just simply by the virtue of you being a good person. They don't realize they've kind of been like cut off in that instance. And specifically, I'm wondering if this person has Scorpio placements, or they just carry like a very plutonic energy to them. Because when I stepped into your energy to do your pre-shuffle and your meditation and your shufflemancy, I kept feeling Scorpio energy. And even in this small, we've been here 10 minutes, I have almost called you Scorpio like 3 times, but I did Scorpio's reading like days and days and days ago. Like their energy really shouldn't be present here, but it is. So this person might have Scorpionic energy, or they might in some way want to be kind of like dragging you down into the underworld. But again, it's like the answer is No. The answer is no. And your shufflemancy is really interesting to me, Gemini. It's a collection of songs I wouldn't normally expect to come out for you, and I do think it is a pleasant surprise. The first song that came out for you is called Power of Kindness, and the song is quite literally about that. And I think part of what is clarifying for you this month, Gemini, is, and that's part of this Ace of Swords at the bottom with this big snake cracking out of the egg, like this big creatrix, is who and what is truly worthy of your kindness, right? Of your generosity, of your protection, again, of your magic. And so in this spiritual graduation, in this heightened position that you are, in this higher perspective, you might even be seeing like hawks, eagles, falcons, which interestingly are often symbols of an elevated scorpionic energy, but they're really about the power of perception, being able to see through illusion, getting that real bird's eye view about, again, who and what is deserving of your magic, of your protection, of your kindness, and looking around in your maturity and realizing the world is full of hungry bellies and cold hands that need holding, but it's certainly not the people with knives in their fists pointed at me. And so you seem to be, I don't know, I guess it's like a meatloaf energy. Like, I will do anything for love, but like, I won't do that. And like, I'm not going to allow you to use and abuse like my goodness. Like, I want to say like my kind heart and my good nature is what's coming through. And I think for you, that's quite a victory, Gemini, because at least in terms of like astrological stereotypes, much like Scorpio, you tend to get a really bad rap. And so there's something here about reclaiming like innocence and virtue, and I have a good heart and I have a good nature and people like me and I am kind and I know the difference between right and wrong and I choose the right thing as often as I can. It's like you're really reaffirming your goodness after many seasons where people maybe really wanted to like hold up and exalt all of your flaws or all of your mistakes. So you seem to be reclaiming a narrative. 666 just drove by. Very Venusian number. That you seem to be really just like reclaiming your own narrative and centering it and basing it from a place of like recognizing your inherent goodness, which is really great because it also makes me feel like you're getting off of like the hamster wheel of trying to overperform kindness or generosity for people who don't appreciate it or believe you anyway, but certainly as a manner of combating some kind of like stereotypes that people like to like throw on you that is really in truth just a projection of like their own inner meanness. It's like people always want to point out your flaws, but they never want to acknowledge like their own meanness inside. And I'm someone that I think we all carry a little bit of meanness, a little bit of ugly inside, and it is our duty, our responsibility as human beings to temper that, to work on that, to check ourselves, to go, hey, is that fair? Is that kind? Is that the best version of myself? I think it's part of personal development, yes. And you have been doing a lot of it, Gemini, and maybe other people haven't, and that's fine, but it's certainly not your problem anymore. And we have the wise fox now at the bottom of the deck. And I really like it because she seems to be like holding off this skeleton. Again, it's very scorpionic, like that underworld 8th house energy, away from this angel and away from this fox. Like there's something here about the fox is a very clever energy. It also is a representation of like feminine charm, feminine intellect, feminine guiles in a really good way. And so there's sort of like a hands-off energy that I feel here. It's like, hey, I'm not afraid of death. I'm not afraid of darkness. I'm not afraid of getting my hands dirty. But I don't want to dance with you. You can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind. Like, I don't want to dance with you. And I like how like you're almost protecting this angel, which is so interesting because typically like angels like come in to protect us. But there's something about you like reclaiming like authority or dominion over like your spiritual spaces or different areas of your life, things that are like angels to you. I even wonder if this might represent like, I don't know, like an angel baby or like a future, a blessed future that is waiting to kind of arrive or materialize for you. And so you seem to be protecting the parts of you that are clever and that are charming and that are kind of astute, and that can be like a little tricky or can be evasive when you need to be, right? And the things that are precious to you, the incoming blessings. You're just like, no, get your hands off them. It's not for you. Like, it's not about me being unkind, but it's about me not forfeiting over the good things in my life for people who think they deserve them more than me. Like, it's this really balanced energy that I love. It's sort of like, no, I'm not going to hell in a handbasket with you. If you want to go, that's fine. But like, that is not on my itinerary this week. Speaking of week, the playlist that I chose, there's a lot of playlists that I have, but the Spotify, it put up like a bunch of like, it generates playlists, and one of them said Discover Weekly, and I felt really drawn to that. And the colors on this playlist, they're purple, they're red, so there is something about the connection between the root and the crown chakra. But Discover Weekly, it did give me the impression that it's like each week in November is kind of a new adventure for you. You might be kind of each week figuring out, I don't know, something you could bat away, something new that you could try. I feel like you're in a very experimental energy now that you are not spending so much, again, of like your energy and your investment and your kindness into like dead ends and black holes. You seem to have like a lot more energy this week, and your focus is very future forward. And so I don't know, Discover Weekly, I feel like, I don't know if this is an intentional thing where you're like, I'm doing a new thing every week. Each week in November, I am choosing to have a new experience. I'm going to try a new food. I'm going to read a different type of book. I'm going to watch a foreign movie. I'm going to meet people I've never met before. I'm going to do speed dating. Like, I'm going to try yoga. Like, I'm going to do something different. It's like, it's an energy of exposure. Like, you're trying to expose yourself to new people and new energy and new ideas and new experiences. It's like literally gorgeous. I haven't seen you in an energy like this in a really long time. In that Power of Kindness song, the artist is called Ma Muse, which is such an interesting name. And there's something about, like, maybe it's because I'm from Jersey. I'm like, my muse, my mom's muse. And so I feel like there might be something here about, one, with the muse, discovering new things weekly, really seeking out new inspiration, really enjoying the feeling of learning, of being inspired, of like exploring new things. It's a really like revitalizing feeling, especially if you have felt stagnant or kind of sluggish for a long time. It really is quite revitalizing. There's something here about, again, your mother. I wonder if there's something about your mother that is inspiring you or motivating you in some way. Some of you might be creatives, you might be artists. There might be like a piece of work that you're creating about or for or around your mother. There's also a feeling here that some of you may be finding inspiration when reflecting upon your mother, in both ways, in good and bad ways. Sometimes people, even the people that we love the most, they can inspire us, who we want to be, what we want to live up to, what we want to continue on. But they can also inspire us with what we don't want to continue on, right? Sometimes inspiration can go both ways, both light and shadowy. So there might be moments like this month as well that maybe you're interacting or you're reflecting on like your relationship with your mother or something like that and going, oh, she really inspires me to do this, but she really inspires me to never do that over there, right? Maybe like a learning from mistakes, whatever it might be, but there's certainly like a connection here. Maybe some of you, your parents are getting older, maybe they're a little stuck in the mud, you're wanting your mother to experience something new every week with you, but there's definitely some kind of connection for a lot of you in regards to like your mother as like a wound that you might be healing and learning from, or a source of inspiration in some way. One of the other songs that had come on here for you is Waking Up on a Picnic Blanket. And there's no lyrics in it. It's just instrumental. It's a very like calm song. You'd see it in like behind like a ASMR like lifestyle video, and the idea of like waking up on a picnic blanket, it's like you're in a park. It's like there is no danger. I had a cucumber sandwich, someone's playing baseball over there, it's a nice day. It's just like very laissez-faire, just like very relaxing, and I really like that for you. I don't know like if you're on like a sabbatical, but it's just like I'm going where the wind takes me. It's kind of like summer break after graduating from like a really intense spiritual program. because the song that comes on after that is called Lovely Ingenue. And so again, like there's something about you being a quick study, about you being a good student, that even if it felt like your like spiritual lessons up until this point have been quite arduous, you've actually moved through them like much quicker than anyone else has. I'm hearing centuries and I'm hearing generations. Like you might have moved through spiritual lessons in a matter of 5 years that felt like climbing out of hell, that other people in your lineage, they haven't been able to make it through in multiple lifetimes. So there's definitely a call to give yourself a tremendous amount of credit. And ingenue, for me, there's also like a little spark of brilliance, a little spark of genius. So again, that idea of like a sabbatical, I feel like for some of you, you might be like taking some things off of your plate. Again, like doing like a metaphorical kind of summer break, exploring new things, looking for new inspirations. Even like that ma is like, maybe, I don't know, like there's something new you're going to be mothering, a new project you're going to be like nurturing here. Something that is really drawn to that spark of genius in you. Like I feel like there's just something about this time for you, Gemini, that it's like before the big bang. It's like before the big idea, before the magnum opus, before the babies, before the pop, like before the thing. It's a really exciting time. It's like, I feel like you'll look back one day and go, this was before it all happened, in like a really positive way. The song afterwards, the last song on your Shufflemancy, is just a song called Morning Vibes. And again, it's just like instrumental. It's just like la la. It's just pleasant. It's just like a pleasant month. You're in a pleasant energy. Of course, there is that bang, 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 like that knocking at the door. Let me in. I'm suffering the consequences of my own actions and I can't stand it. But as long as you allow yourself to not be like guilted into, I'm here, and I don't like this phrasing, but like they're saying like Captain Sabo, like as long as you are not falling into that like firefighter energy and allowing like anything to guilt trip you into putting yourself into a compromising position, I think you'll be all right. And I think one of the greatest things is that you are enjoying the peace and the serenity and like the lack of drama, leave the drama for your mama, the lack of drama in this new spiritual space that you're existing in, that it's like you, even if you did feel a little guilty, or even if you were inclined to like, all right, let me see if I can help you, like the peace that you're experiencing, it's just like, it's too good to give up. Just like, I'm not willing to give it up. It's like when you finally get into like a really healthy and happy relationship and one of like your bum exes starts like bothering you and you're like, absolutely not. Like there's no way I'm giving up like such a good relationship for this, right? It's like you've learned your lesson in that instance. The horned cactus is coming out for you. Card number 29, so that breaks down to 11, a number of alignment. Also, it's in alignment with the Justice card in the Major Arcana. Horned cactus, resourcefulness. So there seems to be something here about, it's almost like the Death card with the, again, that Scorpio energy with like the sun coming up behind you. It's almost like you've moved from like the 8th to the 9th house, and then you're moving into the 10th. Like that's your big bang. And so there does seem to be in a way of a time of restructuring, but a lot of it is constructed through inspired action that comes when you're in the flow of discovering and being inspired by new things. But here, when we look at a cactus, all of its nutrients, all of its water, all of its resources, right, resourcefulness, it's inside. It's not necessarily being presented like a fountain to the outside world for people to come with their cups and just scoop up. And on top of it, it has all of these sharp, prickly prongs coming out of this cactus, which is also a protective measure. And if you notice here, he also has like a bit of an illuminated third eye that also has these little like pricky things coming off of them as well. With these horns here, that also gives me a bit of like a Taurus energy here. So one, I don't know if there is maybe an energy, an ancestor, a spirit that is associated with like a Taurus type of energy, Venus type of energy with that 666 that's really like guiding you. There's like a Corvette that's, all right, that's like a hot red Corvette that's like driving past. Also, a Ram is now also driving past my window. When I think of Ram, I think of Mars, I think of Aries, right? Super interesting. So there's definitely, again, spiritual protection for you. There's a lot of guidance here to reserve your inner resources for yourself and to be very protective of like your own energy and who is coming in and out of your space. There's also something about this cactus kind of blocking out the sun as well. So there might be something here as well about intentionally, I don't know, no shit. A truck is driving by my house and it has a cactus on it and it said desert dry, waterproofing. Okay. Okay. That waterproofing, that feels like guarding yourself against the emotional explosions of other people who use their emotional volatility to like manipulate you in some way. Because you're a mutable air sign, you always have the ability to see things from like all sides, which is a beautiful trait, but it's often used against you because people know how to exploit it. Yes, but you moving in front of this sun right here makes me feel like whether it's through spiritual protections that you're intentionally putting in place, wards against divination, privating your social media accounts, it's like you are blocking other people's ability with their sunlight to peer in and observe you. So you seem to be really kind of, again, like in that cabin drawing the blinds. So like other people who are trying to get in your energy might feel like you're in like a hermit mode. But anyone that's like kind of associated with your future feels like you're very like actually available because you're facing me in this card. Like you're available, like you're ready to like talk, but you just seem to be like blocking out like the prying eyes or the spotlight of the past and past people's attention, which I like that a lot for you. Skywriting the fates. I'm hearing it's out of my hands. It's out of my hands. People seem to, I feel like telepathically be communicating with you about things they're going through. And you're saying, it's out of my hands. It's out of my hands. Like there's something about no one's bigger than the program. And like, you cannot save people again from like the consequences of their own actions. It's almost like I'm hearing like, I'll write you a note. It's like people are experiencing some kind of karma or consequence for maybe like how they treated you and how they treated others. And they feel like if you say, oh, it's okay, then like they won't experience those consequences anymore. But it's above and it's beyond you. It's about the universal scales balancing for all of us. It's almost as if they don't think that you've ever had your comeuppance either, but you have. There's also something here about in this new spiritual like level, Gemini, I feel like there's a reading I did a few months ago. I think it was for Cancer. And it was something called Privy to the Prophecy, I want to say. There's kind of that energy here as well, that it's like you're being kind of privy or given information or insight into future blessings, timelines, how things are rolling out for you. And I also feel like it kind of feels like it's on a macro scale. So I feel like the fates, the gods, the spirit seems to be kind of showing you a little bit about like what is happening like collectively in the world. And I'm seeing 40. So maybe over like the next like 40 years, and kind of explaining how and where they're going to position you. It's like almost explaining like your new assignment, how they're going to position you, when money comes in, how do you invest it? Because this is going to happen politically, or this is going to happen in the world. And this is what it's like, they're giving you like the blueprint. Maybe that's, where's my pen? Where's my pen? I need to write that down. That is the title of your reading, The Blueprint, or something like that. I'll decide later. 2949. So again, we have like a lot of nines here, and it feels like that is representing the ninth house to me. 14, Drifter, experiencing life as it comes. I love this. And I love like these boundaries. It almost feels like the High Priestess. I love these boundaries on either side of you. It's like you are the captain of your own ship. You are sailing your own seas. You are, again, discovering weekly, experiencing life as it comes. Boats always bring this idea of voyage and adventure. And like, I almost getting the image of a 3 of Wands, but someone else is like on a cliff, like waiting for their ship to come in, but they don't know yet that like you were coming into port. So I also, again, part of this fates, it's like there's also like a fated and destined like meeting or like contact point between you and another. This feels creative and professional and like communal more than it feels like romantic, but take it as you will. But there's like a fated destined meeting point of like you and another that's like coming here. I absolutely love that. This is also the number of temperance. Again, like laissez-faire, take it easy, a little bit here, a little bit there. Where intensity has marked your past, feels like flow is really marking your future. And again, I love these boundaries on the side of you. Other people, they cannot look in at all. So I absolutely love that. And I love that they're on both sides. It's like both sides of you or duality, or both wanting privacy to do your own thing. I love that. And like your light and shadow are working together and not against one another. It's like a really beautiful thing. I have the Ace of Pentacles on the split. So what I would like to do is we are going to do a 12th house reading, Gemini. It really wants to come out, this Ace of Pentacles. Again, okay, so we'll take it out. We'll leave it out. I like this card because she is giving to the needy, but the people that actually need it. That she's giving them bread. They're in this line. She's not overextending herself for people that are like able and capable, right? Again, I think that's like a really important lesson for you. I think because you're so smart, what I want to say, and it's not the most glamorous thing or way to say it, I think that you're so smart, Gemini, that you recognize how foolish other people are sometimes, and it makes you feel bad for them, and so you step in to help them when really sometimes they need to get their hard knocks in order to build up the thick skin or the wisdom or the experience that you did, right? And I put that card right over the fates, right? And so I wonder if, I don't know, like sometimes life is trying to deal someone like a hard deck of cards on purpose, and you go, oh, poor them. And so you go in to help them, and it's like sometimes you may unintentionally like interfere with like the divine's plan for other people to experience difficult times, to toughen up or to learn or to get it. And I wonder if you get caught sometimes, 12:52 on my clock as I say that, I wonder if sometimes you get caught in like friendly fire because of that, like you've accidentally picked up some like hardship or some karma from people that was meant to entirely go to them, but like you kind of step in the crosshairs. You're, again, hands off. It's like you're learning how to just like leave people to their life and not like jump in or interfere. Again, like not Captain Savo or being a firefighter or anything, which is really interesting. But I always say I am not an astrologist, but I do love how the house system in astrology really covers a lot of bases of personality, personal development, different areas of life. So I think it makes a really good format for a spread. So that's what we are gonna do. We obviously have this Ace of Pentacles up right here. And I do feel like that is very much representing a bit of your first house. Again, not to the people in the past, but this is you being in a very like giving and sharing, and again, like the power of kindness, and you're putting it like finally in the right places. Now, Now, your first house, this is your house of self. This is how like a lot of people are seeing you. We have the divine tower, and here we have that skull, again, like more of that scorpionic energy. And for some reason, like this card, it always gives me this pinball type of energy. Like I put a coin in his third eye, and like a gumball pops out of his mouth. And it does have a little bit of that, like you play stupid games and you win stupid prizes type of energy. Other people might be observing you or feeling like you somehow are destabilizing them, that you are acting like a tower. The tower for me is also a card of authority more than it's a card of the integrity of foundation. It's about oversight. It's about who's in charge, who's managing this goddamn thing. And so again, people might have seen you as kind of like listless or not really being on top of things, and then all of a sudden they're seeing you as the only one who's in charge, or the only one who has the like authority or the ability to stop something or change something. And you don't seem to be interceding, right? You're allowing the tower to come down for certain people. You're just allowing it to just come down outside. You're allowing the storm to rage. It's like you're not, it's almost like Jesus in the boat, like, peace, be still, like calming the storm. It's like people who maybe didn't want to recognize that like you had that ability for whatever reason, now that they need you to have that ability, it's like they're putting all of the responsibility of it on you. And because you're not interceding, they're seeing you as almost, I don't know, like mocking them, like ha 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 ha, when in reality it's just death is something that is inevitable for all people. None of us get out of here like alive. We all shake the mortal coil, right? And again, it's the fates. You're like, you win, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Like, this is nothing to do with me. I didn't do this to you. And I'm also not doing this for you. Like, I'm not your villain just because, like, I refuse to be your hero. I'm not your villain just because I refuse to be your hero. So this is how people seem to be, like, viewing you in some way. Now, in your second house, oh, interesting. In your second house, this is value, priorities, material goods. We have the Hangman, and above him, we have this little clock, right? So again, and there's something about, like, time is heating up, how you're using your time, how you're using your energy, how you're using your magic. Like, it's super different. I also feel like, I don't know, like, there's something about, like, I don't know, you escaping here. Like, when there's smoke, there's fire, and, like, you're learning how to stay out of the crosshairs of, like, other people. Something that you're also valuing right now is, like, it feels like it's your downtime. And that's also what you probably are, like, wanting to invest in, things that allow you to stop, things that allow you to pause, things that make you think, things that make you reflect. It's part of this, like, Discover Weekly. I want to be inspired. I want to feel like I'm thoughtfully moving through life, like I'm having interesting experiences, right? And so I feel like that is a lot of what this is. There's also this interesting siren energy. There's this fish here. There's this white wolf. There's, like, a lot of feminine mysticism here as well. And so when I think about, like, time feels very, like, man-made. It's very structured, like just kind of a normal clock, the Gregorian calendar. It's not inherently rhythmic and cyclical in the way that women naturally embody time. While there may be many people or a couple people from different, you know, whatever, that might be watching this reading, I typically find that I read for women or female identifying folks. And so there might be something here, even with, like, you, the Hangman being the inversion, that you are focusing more on cyclical rhythm, being in tune with the moon cycles, moving according to your own timing, your own pacing, much more, like, emotionally kind of drawn forward. There was also something about Harriet the Spy and Rory Gilmore that had come through the channeling before I clicked the camera on that feels significant in some way. And I'm kind of thinking about I think it's, like, one of the first episodes maybe of Gilmore Girls, where Dean is, like, flirting with Rory and saying something about how she was reading a book under a tree and there were some guys playing football and someone got hit, blood's gushing everywhere, girls were crying, like, big drama, big hubbub, didn't even look up from her book. And she's like, well, maybe I'm just incredibly self-centered. And he's like, maybe, but I doubt it. There's kind of, like, a bit of that energy here too, like what you want to invest your time, your money, your priorities into. It seems to be on things that inspire flow, inspire reflection, inspire you to slow down, that feel emotionally satiating. I like that for you. And this white wolf too, it kind of reminds me of, like, Jon Snow, like when he goes back into the north at the end of the series. Now, in your third house, I love this. In your third house of communication, it's a mercurial house. This is your house. We have the Six of Wands. Six of Wands is a card of success. It's victory, it's recognition, it's the trophy after the battle of the Five of Wands. And I like this because it reminds me of the power of kindness. So you seem to be really focusing on speaking really affirmatively about yourself, about others, about magic, about the potential of life. I like that you have this snake, which is a feminine symbol of regeneration. I like that you have it in this little beaker, like you're trying to understand and pull the essence of resurrection. It's like a sorcerer's stone, like the essence of resurrection, learning the secrets of, like, the serpent in some way. It's really beautiful. So you also seem to be learning a lot kind of alchemically here is what I want to say. And I'm looking at these white roses and I'm hearing you can always paint the roses red. And there was something about those clocks and Alice through the looking glass and all of that was coming through earlier in the channel as well. So there's something here about you might be, because the third house is also how we, and Mercury, your ruling planet, it's not just how we communicate, it's how we digest and understand information. And so there's something about a concentrated focus here, maybe spiritually or magically, or a certain area of, like, transmutation or resurrection that, like, you're really getting, like, a very, very good handle on. In some instances, for some of you, I almost want to say, like, your specialty, like your spiritual, your magical, your alchemical specialty might be revealing itself to you this month. I love that. Now, in your 4th house, this is home, this is family, this is roots. We have the 7 of Cups. And again, here is like another tower. It's a great divide in between you and another. And above it is this magic scarab beetle, which is always kind of a classic Kemetic sign of magic and transformation and mystery. And I see the feminine here pointing again, like at the foundation. And I see the masculine energy here, and he looks kind of stressed and a little bit confused. While the scarab beetle, its little tiny feet seem to be pointing right at the tip of this tower. And so there seems to be something here in the energy where I feel like you're communicating about like the root system of like where you come from and being like, it's strong. Or maybe trying to explain to other people that like you actually, I would say like you don't understand where we come from, because it looks like there's clouds or like there's waves underneath here. So it's like you actually can't see like what the foundation is built on, but it's clearly built quite strong. Like it's like there's no lightning, it's like there's no cracks in it. And so I feel like, I don't know, something about you communicating, just because like you don't understand like fully like what we are or like where we come from, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad or like it's evil or like it's unstable. It's not. And there's something about this beetle at the top, like you seem to be communicating like, again, no one's bigger than the process or the program. It's like, you know, when certain things are, something said clearly better homemade, drove by, that like spirit is overlooking things, that like destiny is at hand. It's like you have to trust the process. It's like kind of trying to note that just because someone doesn't understand, I don't know, like where you're coming from, your history, it doesn't mean that like what you're doing is wrong. People might not recognize or believe in some instances. You might have very different spiritual beliefs than like other people maybe in your family or your hometown or where you're from, that like spirit or God like rules all, sees all, is in charge of all things. It's like you're trying to explain like, yeah, this is how it works, and someone's like, I don't get it, like I don't get it, Gemini. And you're like, well, I don't know how to better explain it to you. So there seems to be like a clear division. And so there's also something here about like this character just being like, I don't get it, I'm confused, whatever, like I guess that's it. And then you seem to be going like, well, no, look, well, like let me count how many blocks are on here and like doing the work. And so there also seems to be quite a big division between you and again, family or like the people like where you come from, about you willing to do the work, to understand, to gain wisdom, to ask questions, to dissect the magic, to see how it works, like how the sausage gets made. And other people like just aren't, and then they're confused when they don't understand it, or they're fearful of something, or stuff isn't working for them. It's just another example of the times when you were willing to like put your head together, when you were willing to put in the elbow grease, and other people aren't. And then they wonder why there's distance between you, or they wonder why things aren't working out for them, or why things are moving differently for you than them. But you can only explain it so many times. It's like the answer doesn't change. There's also something interesting here about the division of magic. It feels like there's equal parts magic given to like both of you on either side of this divide, but you're doing something with it and someone else isn't. And that's also like not your problem. So there may be people, again, like where you come from, that may be feeling some kind of way about what you're doing or where you're going. And you're like, listen, like, I got it out the mud. Like we come from the same place. We had the same opportunities. It's like we had the same amount of support or lack of support. Like I just did more with it. That's it. Now in the 5th house, this is your house of joy and creativity and crafts and children and lust and like just the real juice of life. We have the Fool card. We have the Innocent here. And again, like here's this big snake, like popping out in order to kind of protect this big obelisk, which feels like this kind of crystal ball into the future. And so again, your creative energy, that root, like your vitality, your energy, your sensuality, like the childlike whimsy to go and be curious and to explore and keep an open mind and let me see if the stove is hot and let me see if water is wet and how does it feel to roll off the couch, right? Like just that very like that deep interaction with life as like a living force. really seems to be like coming back up to you. And it feels like this serpent or the snake in some way is really very much of like a manifestation of this growing spiritual power and provenance that you have. I also like how high up this kind of obelisk is, because again, it shows this kind of process of ascension. This snake is also seemingly like hissing or creating like some kind of boundary. So again, there is a lot of repeating messages about protecting, Gemini, your potential and future happiness and future blessings and things like that. Now your 6th house, this is your daily house. This is your Virgo house. We have the 8 of Swords. This is our daily work. This is our health. This is what we clock in and clock out to every day. We have the 8 of Swords. This is super duper interesting. So it's definitely giving the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. Again, like this feels like other people like laying on top of your little cocoon or this little cabin or this little cave that you're in. You feel like you're meditating. It feels like you're reading scripture. It feels like you're reading, you know, Mary Oliver. You're learning that you don't have to, you know, crawl on your knees through the desert for, you know, 100 years just to prove that you're good. You're connecting with yourself. There's also something about this water spirit. There's a water spirit that seems to be visiting you in some way. But you're in this like spiritual cocoon process. You actually look like you're inside. I actually might get up and get it. You look like you're inside of a rose of Jericho. Hold on, I have one right here. I'll show it to you. And meanwhile, a rose of Jericho is a resurrection plant. That's what it's used for. Look how similar this is. I know a lot of you like listen to the readings like podcasts, but look how similar this looks. It looks like you're literally sitting inside this rose of Jericho, and there's this water. What you do is you put it in a basin of water and you allow it to rehydrate, to cleanse, to project, to cleanse, to protect, and to resurrect different things in your life. And here is this water spirit like coming to help you do that. But then there is like this girl, she's laying right on top of this rose, like almost like she's trying to listen for tips or figure out how you're doing it, or waiting to see like when you come out. She doesn't necessarily feel like the same energy banging at your door though. If anything, to be honest with you, so this is a different energy. And again, it might be someone that you deal with at work, someone that you see on the daily, the chick at the bodega. She almost reminds me of the Magdalene, of Mary Magdalene waiting outside of Jesus's tomb, like knowing that he's gonna resurrect. And so there actually might be someone like specific, Gemini. You know how they say like not everyone can come with you? There might be someone that can, or there might be someone that maybe you're not like deeply like involved with in any capacity, but like you just kind of know and see, again, like kind of on your daily route or at work, who like maybe does see and appreciate like that little something special in you, and is like, I don't know, I just have a good feeling about Gemini. Like I feel like Gemini is gonna bounce back. Like I feel like something good is cooking for them, and like I want to be here to see it. Keep an eye out for that. Their energy doesn't feel bad. It feels good actually. Now in your 7th house of relationships, we have the Dreamer of Pentacles. Wow, so interesting. So again, we have this white wolf. We have this crab here. So again, Cancer placements might be significant in your relationships. We also have this like rooster down here. Your 7th house is a Venusian house. So again, it rules love, sex, and relationships, known enemies. So again, there might be something specific about Aries placements. There might be something about Cancerian placements that sometimes you might butt heads with. They might be the people that are like in that 4th house that kind of give you a hard time sometimes. The 7 of Cups is also a scorpionic energy that is ruled by Venus in Scorpio. So again, water signs, I wouldn't say you might just have an issue with water signs. Scorpio also had a message about the other water signs, Pisces and Cancer, like maybe kind of butting heads with them. I don't feel beef with Pisces for you, but there might be something about Aries and Cancerian placements that might be giving you like a little bit of grief. I also noticed that here there's like a bit of a keyhole, right? So it's almost like there has to be invitation, there has to be like welcome entry in order for people to like get really close to you. I don't like how like there's a little bit of blood dripping from this crab's hand. And it reminds me a little bit of the idea of like crabs in a bucket, how crabs, if you put them all in a bucket and one finally is like able to escape, the other will kind of claw at it and bring it back down. Because there's this like kind of rooster here, which is a masculine symbol as opposed to a hen, right? It's a cock. That again, there's something here. It might be like some kind of masculine energy that you, again, 7th house, known enemies. Maybe it's an ex, maybe it's your brother, maybe it's a cousin, maybe it's someone, whatever. But there might be a masculine energy that is jealous of you, or jealous that you're moving on, that you're moving forward, that you're not accessible, and may try with the moon here, that maybe will try to manifest or send you some kind of weird spiritual energy, or in some way, because I feel like the rooster, how they like wake you up really early on a farm, like rah, rah, 101 just passed by, try to like disturb your rest while you're in this Rose of Jericho in order to like pull you down from your pedestal, because I don't think you should be on it, and back into the bucket with the rest of them. What is that noise? Do you hear that? I have no idea what that is, and I have no idea where that's coming from. But it kind of sounds like that storm at the door, someone annoyingly knocking, or like that audio clip, I think it's from Dance Moms, with, I think her name's like Abby, and she's like, here I am, relaxing, enjoying my day, and then I hear this grating, irritating voice, and like it kind of is like that, trying to get caught in your hair. See all your hair going here? You might decide to like cut your hair, do something different with your hair this month. Your hair is a deep extension of your energy. So you might be trying to, I don't know, maybe you're trying to like make a statement. Maybe you're cutting your hair, you're changing up your style, or doing something to make a statement that like you're not the same Gemini you used to be, or you're not the same Gemini that like they used to know. I'm hearing that Gautier song. Somebody that I hear, you didn't have to cut me off. 2 of Cups, look at that. So in your 8th house, this is your Scorpionic house. This is your house of the underworld. Here we have the 2 of Cups. But what I'm like focused on is this creepy guy in the back. See this horse? It's all like blacked out. We can't tell who this person is. It's just like a watcher. It's just a lurker. And here, this feels like this is the energy that helped you like get out of the underworld to begin with. Horses, especially horses in water, oftentimes are symbols, again, of water deities. Horses are also really sacred to water deities like Poseidon, for instance. And so that might be like a bit of a key or a clue for you. It stopped. I said Poseidon, and that noise stopped. 1:13 on my clock as I say that. But then again, there's this underneath the moon. It's like somebody with Cancer placements. I'm telling you, it's someone with Cancer placements. Because like they're also welcome in the water because of that, but not close enough to you. And they're watching you in some way, because you're leaving the water. You're leaving the underworld. Again, you're ascending upwards, and they are still stuck. So be mindful of that, especially if you know you have an ex with Cancer placements, again, a disgruntled family member. Be mindful of that. I think that is in part why there is that energy of privacy here in this horned cactus. Like you might have to be like quite prickly, where they have like their little crab claws. You might have to be quite prickly, that if they try to grab you, ouch. So again, and that might be the 6 of Wands here with a focused spiritual technique or process that you're kind of mastering. Now I'm looking at the snake differently, and it looks like you're trapping the snake in order to, almost like you're putting a stopper on it with the obelisk here, that you're trapping a snake's energy, maybe someone with Cancer placements who's being kind of sneaky and snaky around you. Learning, again, that 5 of Wands, learning how to like capture that energy and transmute it for your benefit as you escape. So it's like where they're trying to like drag you down, you're actually learning how to, when they reach up, like grasp the kinetic energy of their movement or their attempt and like steal it, like 7 of Swords style for yourself, and transmute it into like more of what you want. Like beating someone at their own game, essentially. the Priestess of Dreams. Yeah, I was like, what card did you see how it just popped up right here? And she's giving me a little bit of that like Circe energy from Greek mythology. So that also might be a significant character for you as well. Let's look in your 9th house. We have the 4 of Cups. So fucking interesting. And here in the 4 of Cups, we have the fates themselves twirling, entwining new timelines together. It did pop up in reverse though. So your 9th house is your house of spirituality. It's higher learning, because the 4 of Cups, which traditionally can be a card of apathy, boredom, right? It's after the 3. Because it's coming up in reverse, it's kind of giving me the feeling of, again, you are feeling spiritually quite satiated. Actually, you're not bored. You're getting a lot out of your spiritual practice this month, in particular because you're dealing with more tempered and mature spirits. They're not testing and trialing spirits that you deal with in like lower levels of initiation. You're at the big kids table. I also feel like this is you like taking your kind of hands off the threads of fate and like letting the universe kind of weave things the way that it wants, because there's a deep trust that things are gonna like shake out really well for you. But there is something about, again, in the past, you trying to override like the fate that was being twined for other people because you intuitively sensed that it was bad, and you wanting to save them in a way that no one ever tried to save you, but realizing that you were trying to save people that were hurting others, that were selfish, that were maybe hurting you. And again, I feel like your biggest lesson is learning how to help the needy and not how to help the naughty. Does that make sense? The needy and not the naughty, Gemini. What's going on in your 10th house? Your 10th house is your Saturn house. It's ruled by Capricorn, typically Saturn. It's public recognition. It's your career. Oh, God, I love it. You have the dream protector coming out. I'm telling you, you seem to be someone that is kind of being very kind of private. I love that. Again, especially coming off of here, it's like you're on dry land now. You've taken your throne. So you seem to be in a position of authority. He is represented by the Emperor here as card number 4, that you're seen publicly in terms of what you're doing as in position, on top of things, in control of your emotions. You seem to be rightfully claiming your authority, your responsibility, and you also seem to be protecting, even if that means through staying private, protecting like your intellectual property and your divine inspiration. That's a really gorgeous thing. And I feel like not shortly from now, what is that? Isn't it? It's a gospel song. Oh, wait, hold on. It's coming. Wait, it's a gospel song. Not much longer now. Things are about to move quickly. Not much longer now. See my hands going? Someone's got Baptist or someone in their family. Things are about to shift quickly. And I see big hats. I see big, beautiful women, and I see big, beautiful hats. So someone maybe has like you got a praying grandma. You got some Baptists in your family. I feel a lot of I grew up Roman Catholic in the church, so not a lot of singing, not a lot of Jubilee, y'all. But you might have some ancestors that are, very different, and I fucking love that. But I feel like not much longer now. Like, I feel like people are gonna start congregating like around you. They're like, oh my God, look what Gemini is doing. And it's so interesting too, because I was saying before that that story of like Jesus in the boat, like peace be still, calming the winds. And I just see your hands right here, and it sees like how the wind, it looks like, is dispersing like when you put your hands up. So there also might be something here, especially if you are like a mystical, magical person, babe, that people might be seeing. I know this is like kind of a tall task, but I wonder if my nose is going, if people are going to see you like work a miracle, or something miraculous is going to happen in your life. It kind of reminds me, and again, there's a lot of biblical stories coming through here, but like Moses parting the Red Sea. Did Moses part the Red Sea, or did God part the Red Sea and make Moses look really good, right? Kind of doesn't matter, but I feel like there's something about that. I just saw 4x4 drive by too. So the number 4 also might be really powerful for you this month. My nose is going. You're sensing it. You're picking up a scent of something. I'm telling you. People might be watching you. Solomon, what is going on? 1:19 on my clock. I just saw Smith and Solomon pass by on a truck. So I'm thinking about like Solomon, the judgment of Solomon, the two ladies and the baby. Are we going to cut it in half? You have some very religious, I feel like, spirits and ancestors. You might work with like archangels and stuff like that, even if like you're not practicing an orthodox theology. You might still work with angels or have like religious kin and spirit that support you. I feel like people are seeing you work some kind of miracle. Some might call you a magician and some might call you a prophet, but someone is seeing you work a miracle, is seeing you that you can stop a storm. But again, maybe not for them. Let's check your 11th house. So your 11th house is your Aquarian house, another Saturn house. And it's of friends, it's your network, and we have the 10 of Pentacles. And it's a very interesting 10 of Pentacles. So one, your network is expanding, and this feels like supersonic, hypnotic, funky, fresh, like there's something, I don't know, like that's coming through, but it's almost like when you touch a doorknob and you get like that spark or that shot, like there's something about your circle, there's something about the spirits that are attending to you, that you're connected with, maybe with these trees here through your lineage in these different ways through your culture, that it seems to be like electrifying. It's electrifying like your network and your support system. And again, like not much longer now, things are about to shift quickly. It's almost like it's the 10 of Pentacles, but it feels almost like the Wheel of Fortune and like kind of a 4-leaf clover type of energy here. And all of a sudden it's like there's all of these hands out to help you and to help spin the wheel and to see what you're doing. And again, we have all of these like alchemical symbols, a lot of these Kemetic like hieroglyphic type symbols. It feels like people are going to be drawn to you for the very thing people dismissed you for. And then your 12th house, this is your Piscean house. This is your house of secrets, magic, mystery. Also the house of our own self-undoing. And what do we have here? You have 3 cards that came out, of course. We have the 5 of Swords. Oh, I love this. Typically, the 5 of Swords can be a card of debate, conflict, arguments. People like to call it the card of winning at any costs, but not in this deck. In this deck, it's a card of mentorship, of when the ideas, when the information, it feels like friction, we're having a hard time with it, a mentor steps in to show us and teach us how to fish, how to do something, right? Just like that 6 of Wands, just like that 10 of Pentacles that we have here. I absolutely love this. And then we have the Sorcerer, and we have the Moon Chariot coming out. The Moon Chariot is like my favorite card in this deck, by the way. Like, it's so gorgeous. So one, in your 12th house of mysteries and secrets, again, other people don't know this, but on the back end, you're getting a tremendous amount of like spiritual and like magical counseling, how to fish. Maybe that is how to manifest money, how to work on your protections, how to transmute negativity, how to avoid the crabs in the bucket, how to be like the Rose of Jericho, maybe how to use a Rose of Jericho, right? And again, a lot of this is coming from, I feel like, both ancestors past and also ancestors future. For some of you, there might be like future spirit children or future descendants that are communicating with you now about, again, like what you need. It's like there's a lot of bridges and gaps being like built and filled in. And so there's support from ancestors that have come and gone. Again, new guides that have come in, ancestors in the future that are helping you to prepare a way for them, which is beautiful. And I think the only part of the undoing here is sometimes mistaking all of this education that you get as being something that you are meant to share and teach others. And in some instances, maybe you do with like the needy and the bread here, but overall, most people, no. And so I think there's something here again about like intellectual property, spiritual technology that is not meant to be shared with anyone. Or let me rephrase that, I'm being corrected. That is not meant to be shared with everyone, not most people. And so when you do, there's 2 women across the street walking in their house and they both have pink purses and they both have pink hoodies on. So that might be something for someone that when you reveal that spiritual technology and those techniques to too many people, especially those that don't need it, they're evil enough on their own, you actually give them like more weapons and more of an ability to fuck with you or to fuck with other people. So yeah. So it's sort of like when a kid pretends to be sick because they don't want to go to school, and when a kid is actually sick. Like, a parent knows the difference, and I feel like you haven't always known the difference, or you've gaslit yourself when it was clear that someone was pretending to be quote unquote sick or in need of help, or they need that tip, or they need that information, and so you volunteer it, giving them more ammunition to, again, like, take advantage or to put themselves in a position they don't deserve to be in, or stuff like that. And so this is just a reminder that yes, we're teaching you how to fish. There's all of the spiritual support that's coming in to help you with this, especially underneath that 2 of Cups and that 7 of Cups, but it's not for the other half. It's not for you to share with everybody, and really most people. Like, you will know and you will be guided who to share it with, because they will actually be in real need, because they'll actually be in real need. But as the Priestess of Dreams, again, like, you're learning that now. So Gemini, this is what I have for you. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that this uplifted, supported, affirmed, and confirmed what you needed to this month. I really appreciate you sitting here and spending this time with me. The monthlies are nice and long and hefty this November, which is really nice, and so I hope you're getting a lot out of them. If you'd like to work with me more personally, my information is in the description box. If you'd like a one-on-one reading, please like and share and subscribe. Share with your friends if they're also Geminis and they could use a reading this month. And I love you so much, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.